Cities Pitching Day. My name is Alejandra Paniagua, and I am happy to kick off this session and welcome you today. Please share with us on the chat where you're watching this premiere from. We will be reading your comments. The agenda for today consists in 3 parts. First, the highlights of the project, the startups pitching, and the jury Q&A. Secondly, the keynote speaker and the jury deliberation. And lastly, the winner announcement. Now, to start, I want to introduce and thank our amazing partners that made this possible. We are delighted to be part of this partnership with LIMA EXPRESA, VINCI Highways Group, and the Ministry of Production in Peru through ProInnovate. Welcome, Laurent, Aaron, and Xavier. Let's start with a few welcome words from Laurent, CEO at LIMA EXPRESA, part of VINCI Highways Peru. The stage is all yours, Laurent.
Thank you, Alejandra. Just quickly, I just want to thank everybody, the VINCI Highways jury, the LIMA EXPRESA and the Seedstars innovation teams that made possible this meeting. And well, I'm just very excited to hear from the pitches and to select the 2 winners today.
Thank you, Laurent. And now is the turn of Aaron. Welcome, Aaron.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for the opportunity to be here today. Really looking forward to the presentations from all the different startups and seeing how this can not only help us in Lima, but also across the whole network. So really looking forward to it, and good luck to all the startups today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Xavier, the stage is all yours.
Thanks, Lauren and Aaron. At Seedstars, we're very excited to see how this open innovation program resulted in having selected high impact startups from all over the world solving the Smart Cities Challenge. We have discovered and proposed. We want to congratulate to all the applicants for adding value for the challenge and the commitment during this process up to this stage. And regarding the 11 pre-selected startups, our pledge is to help them to connect with investors and granting them access to our community perks because of their great proposals, and time dedicated is valuable for us. And also, thank you to be able to go deeper during the mentoring sessions with LIMA EXPRESA. We're really amazed for your professionalism and during the whole Smart Cities Challenge process. So happy to be here and looking forward to hear from you and your pitches. So thank you.
Thank you everyone for your words. Now I will introduce you to Paula Garcia, which is the Regional Programs Manager LATAM in Seedstars, and she will share some highlights of the Smart Cities Challenge. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you, Ale, and all the great startups that participated in the challenge, and the partners for this amazing collaboration. After 4 months of the Open Innovation Program, an initiative launched by LIMA EXPRESA and VINCI Highways in partnership with Seedstars and co-financed by ProInnovate from the Ministry of Production in Peru, this global open call was launched. The aim was to hack transportation issues through smart city solutions and help economic reactivation. Before the public call, the project team did an intensive internal and external analysis with the innovation team of LIMA EXPRESA and landed the core and more impactful issues to define the Smart Cities Challenge. So 3 topics of the challenge were launched, and we received more than 112 high-quality applicants from all over the world, which meant about 50 countries, and most of them were from Europe, Africa, and America. 90 startups developed their technologies in-house and based their solutions in artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, the Internet of Things, big data, and clean tech. So we are super excited to hear from them and learn how their innovative solutions can support the Smart Cities Challenge. Thanks to all the applicants, and a special mention to the 11 ones that were pre-selected because of the big potential that they had in their solutions. Based on your technology, the impact is multiplied and therefore safer and more sustainable cities. We're moving towards a more sustainable cities and well-being thanks to all of you. And of course, All the results were thanks to all the hard work of the team behind the project, the selection committee and jury that participated in the process. Thank you all for the big commitment.
Thank you, Paula, for these highlights on the Open Innovation Initiative that we launched. It was incredible to receive so many great startup applications. And finally, the time has come where you will meet the 6 finalists that will pitch their proposals to win a grant up to 346,000 American dollars that will be split among the winner or winners for the implementation of their solutions after the final approval from ProInnovate.
Hello, my name is Ricardo Vitorino and I'm Head of Innovation for Smart Cities at Ubiware, a software development SME from Portugal, and we are here to propose a solution for LIMA EXPRESA and VINCI Highways challenge on accident detection and prevention. Ubiware's solution integrates with existing cameras that we already have in place, but also with new ones through its interoperable interfaces. The idea is to run computer vision algorithms based on artificial intelligence to process the video streams and detect objects such as cars, vehicles, people, and accidents to give LIMA EXPRESA the capability of detecting incidents and accidents in less than 5 minutes. This solution is based on our experience from license plate recognition for access control and object detection such as cars and people for smart parking and smart traffic in different cities across Europe. Our capabilities will bring to LIMA EXPRESA and to VINCI Highways a solution that solves the accident and incident detection and prevention challenge. Our approach is to go from idea to product, considered the best practice by the European Commission regarding location interoperability solutions for e-government. Our idea is to not just push technology into the problem, but actually sit down and co-create the challenge with the end user, with the customer, with our partners, to really understand what's behind it, which infrastructure and data is available, and then find and adapt the best solution towards it. The solution Ubiware proposes is the Urban Platform, a digital solution made for the cloud, for governments, municipalities, smart cities and infrastructure managers that really help them assess problems happening in real time in the street and in the roads. So our proposal is to integrate the computer vision algorithms into the Urban Platform's web capabilities, making them available in its usable interfaces, real-time map, and made it available for any screen, including a video wall in your control room, in your operation theater at VINCI Highways. So with its interoperability, we can integrate with existing cameras, new equipment, and even make it as a new platform for VINCI Highways and LIMA EXPRESA to add more data sets and more information as time goes by, as you evolve in your digitization process. The Urban Platform is interoperable at its core, and its usability and accessibility are key for our end users to really make the best out of the insights retrieved from the accident detection, incident detection, and real-time data analysis at the cloud level or on your premises. Ubiware is now almost 15 years old and has solutions in more than 60 cities worldwide. With VINCI Highways and LIMA EXPRESA, we can reach 600. So we're here for the long run. From Portugal to the world, let's do this.
Thank you, Ubiware. Now for the jury, please, it's time for your feedback and questions. We will have 10 minutes where you can ask questions or give feedback, and you will have to also do your evaluation now. So the 10 minutes start now, and you can open your microphone to speak. Thank you.
Yes, I have a question on the experience you mentioned in Europe. I understand you already work for 50 cities, 50, so it's a lot of experience. Do you have anything that looks like accident detection, or do you usually use your know-how and your tools on other type of functionalities?
Thank you so much, Laurent. Indeed, I validate that we have solutions in more than 60 cities worldwide. Some of the use cases we have been working with computer vision are mostly for detection of incidents in cities. So the use cases are double parking and waste or crowded people in specific roads. But there we have validated that there are open source models that help us quickly set up and train a model to detect an accident as well. So we'll follow the common approach and best practices in artificial intelligence and open source software to train these models and use our infrastructure to deploy them in a scalable manner.
Okay. Sorry, Ricardo, Guillaume speaking. So yes, the type of incident to detect are double parking or waste, which are, I would say, not urgent incidents. And I guess this is why you can have like a 5 minutes time frame for incident identification. The incidents on which we usually want to have a good grasp on are emergency incidents, like I don't know, a fire, like an accident in a tunnel. And to what extent do you think your solution could be adaptable so that we can have not a 5 minutes incident detection, but I don't know, 20 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, or I guess it's going to be linked as well with the hardware, but can you a bit elaborate on that?
Absolutely. So the way that our solution works is that we train the artificial intelligence models on existing information so that they are able to classify and identify objects. So while we haven't done accident in any of the use cases we have at the moment running in production, we have done some proof of concept of problems and accidents within train lines. So we were monitoring specific crossroads with train wrecks, and we would be able to understand if there was a problem with the trains and cars passing by. So it's a matter of quickly using existing video streams or video recordings to train these models so that they can understand what an accident looks like, what examples of accidents from before, and even use open data available and open video streams to train these models, and then to be truly transparent per road segment, per crossing, per point of interest where you want to monitor things, we will be able to see if it's suitable or not to use the computer vision, because sometimes the lighting conditions, the positioning of the camera, existence of trees blocking the vision will not make the model run. It will create a lot of noise for the model to understand what it is. It really depends on how the cameras are positioned, the quality of the image. So we do this case by case. We have cities working with us who are willing to implement computer vision for smart parking, because they have a parking area and they want to detect a lot of cars just one camera, and the lighting conditions are not great, or the weather conditions there create fog, which doesn't allow models to run well. So we are very pragmatic, and we are quickly adapting our solution to fit the needs of the current location of the the existing deployments, and picking up the best solutions in the market while leveraging the available infrastructure from the end user, from the city, from the road infrastructure. So it should work with existing tools you already have.
So Ricardo, maybe just to excuse me, follow up on that same point, is how do you train the model to be able to dynamically change as the weather changes as well?
That's a very good question. Essentially, we are able to provide a proper pipeline or infrastructure to validate how the results are being achieved for that specific model. And I apologize for being too technical or using many technical terms, but what we give is an infrastructure which monitors the performance of each model. So every time a machine learning model runs an object classification and returns its result, it gives you always a confidence level, a percentage of confidence on that result. So our idea and our approach is to always track how the model is performing and retrain them with different parameters, with different data sets to adapt to always optimize these results. But this has to be done always on a case-by-case point. That's why I was mentioning that it really depends on the location of such deployment on specific monitoring. But it's a complex challenge to have one single model to run for all the cameras in all of Lima or Peru or even worldwide. You can train the model to identify specific objects and identify specific occurrences, but you always have to adapt and adjust to the individual deployments. And we have the infrastructure for that, a proper pipeline, in a cloud solution that tracks and monitors how the models are performing, and you are able to adjust it directly. It's an open source tool called MLflow. It's based on the best practices from the data science community, and it's being used by huge players in the market to run their machine learning models and their artificial intelligence models in a production scale manner.
Can I make a question also?
Absolutely.
Just besides the software and the learning, let's say, procedure, if we go to the equipment, the needs for the equipment, normally in a motorway, we would like to monitor a continuous stretch, let's say, of 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers, or even the whole road. Have you implemented any solution covering a whole stretch, a whole section, with several cameras communicating the one to each other? And what kind of specification of equipment do you consider necessary?
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question. We have been working on helping players to monitor segments of road and providing connectivity to support available infrastructure. So we have done that sort of deployment, and typically we use standard IPTV cameras, so they do not require much complexity on those equipments. So we have been using both approaches. We have integrated with from third parties cameras that already have some processing and that already run software within the camera to do some of this processing, and we have standard IPTV camera that just sends us the video frames in a standard protocol, and we handle the modeling capability. So we have experience with both. Regarding the deployment in terms of different roads, we have been working on that sort of solutions to understand and how the movement is going, especially going in and out of specific road segments or cities, to understand the mobility, not necessarily of an individual car, but actually to understand how many cars are going in and out, and do the matrix of origin and destination. So to understand if that specific vehicle has left on another road, to understand how they are moving around and getting this mobility pattern overview to a city or decision maker.
Do you have a specific provision regarding detection during day or night, with or without lighting?
We do. We have been collaborating with different providers of cameras, radars, lidars. So we really find the best option for specific visualization capabilities. So we can find the right provider or the best solution to adjust to the lighting conditions in that sense. In Aveiro, where we are based in Portugal, we have been working with lidar and radar detection to detect such amount of vehicles and people even during night conditions. And the idea is to always find the best solution to that specific challenge and not bring technology onto the problem. We really sit down with you and we'll analyze road segment by road segment what will be the best case in each, and even trial different settings to validate what would be the best approach for a scalable manner.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I have a question on my side, if I may, just 30 seconds. You showed that you could integrate with video walls. Have you already experienced an integration with like a SCADA system for a tunnel, complex operating system that we have to operate on our side? And is it possible to integrate your system with any other, I would say?
Yes, we have demonstrated a video wall even in our industry fairs. So we have built this huge stand in Smart City Expo World Congress, and if you look it up online, you'll be able to see photographs of a 9 matrix of screens emulating a video wall. And we have done this approach also in operation theaters in municipal cities. Regarding SCADA integration, we are also handling that approach in a different concept, but we have the know-how on integrating with those proprietary and those protocols for a smart grid monitoring for energy purposes, not necessarily for computer vision. So those complex and proprietary protocols are part of our day-to-day work. While working with cities, they have done a lot of IoT deployment. They have a lot of proprietary solutions that work as silos. And our value proposition with the interoperability is to help them break those silos and provide a solution that's interoperable with existing equipment and new equipment, giving them a proper platform to then scale their smart city roadmap.
Thank you to all the jury for your interesting questions and the feedback. We're gonna now present the second startup, that is Hackarus.
Hola, I'm Konnichiwa from Japan. My name is Carlos Cordova and I am a member of Hackarus Global Sales Team. I am happy to share with you some details about our AI solution to detect, alert, and predict accidents on the roads. Hackarus is a Japanese company that has been in operation for 8 years and deployed more than 100 AI projects, with our main area of expertise in image or video data analysis and time series data for predictions. We are a very diverse team, both in academic and cultural backgrounds. Hackarus también habla español. Using AI as an alerting tool, the work done by the operators that are in charge of monitoring the roads can be much easier and accurate, because we understand that it's impossible for a few people to look at 100 cameras at the same time and not miss an accident. Also, AI can be trained to identify the different events that cause a real accident on the road. Most importantly, detecting an accident as quickly as possible and alerting the people in charge of monitoring the roads could be the difference between saving and losing lives. Using the video sources for monitoring the traffic, hackers can bring these AI capabilities to detect the incidents. We can develop a customized monitoring app to alert the operators about them, and we can also provide the time series data analysis for prediction of future accidents. I will now explain about a project that has been deployed for a company in Japan that can help you to understand how we would develop this solution, due to its similarities as a concept. This company wanted to eliminate accidents on their construction sites, and we built a customized AI model to detect unsafe behavior from the operators. Using 25 video recordings from the customer, our AI model made the automatic detection of the operators that were not wearing helmets, not wearing goggles, not wearing gloves, and were working with exposed skin in their arms or legs. We also created a customized app for the client to receive the proper alerts whenever an anomaly was detected by the AI model. Taking all of this process as a reference, this is how we envision to replicate it, but targeting the vehicles and roads. Hackarus builds the AI models specifically for the use case of its clients. We also work with less amounts of data as compared with traditional technologies, providing results in a way that is easy to understand, and our software is always ready to fully integrate locally into the client's existing system. For this project, we are considering 3 work stages for us to understand the data correctly, build the AI model as efficiently as possible, and make the necessary adjustments before we deliver the final product within 12 to 14 months. We envision our collaboration with LIMA EXPRESA and VINCI Highways as a great opportunity to create long-term value together and bring the next generation of AI solutions to Peru. Saludos y un abrazo desde Japón.
Thank you, hackers. Now is the turn for the jury to ask your questions or give feedback. We will have same dynamic, 10 minutes, and you have to evaluate hackers now at the same time that you do your questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for this presentation. Just want to make sure I understood properly. So you've developed a little more than or more than 100 AI projects. Are these always or specifically on the health and safety topics, or is this an example that you gave us, but you also implemented AI processes on other types of topics. My question being for the next step, have you done it in transportation as well or not? And can you, if not, can you demonstrate your ability to adapt to a new type of operations?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we don't focus only on unsafe behavior or safety detections. We basically have two business pillars, which are the most important for us. One is medical field, and the other one is manufacturing. So we have deployed these more than 100 AI projects in different industries. And I could say that the most important aspect of our company is the possibility to customize every project that we deliver. So we can easily adapt to any kind of needs that the customer has in their specific projects. So yeah, we basically have this approach into visual inspections, predictive maintenance. We have worked also with GPR data analysis. And yeah, so there's a lot of different approaches that we have discovered and applied in the past. So yeah, I would say the customization part is the most important aspect of our country.
Thank you, Carlos, for the presentation. Maybe just a quick question. You mentioned a timeline of 12 to 14 months for a standard project, and just wondering how that would translate into this opportunity.
Yes. I adapted this time frame due to a feedback that we received from our mentors and the people assigned to somehow give us some feedback about the presentation. So we are considering that we have about 1 year to deploy this project. So we are basically dividing it in the first four months to really understand the data and make the first annotations, know exactly what LIMA EXPRESA and VINCI Highways would like to detect, and how we would really identify the objects and the events or incidents that are happening. And then after that, around 6 months maybe to customize and build the AI model, and then the rest of the time make the tests and the deployment into the client's own environment. This is how we typically do in every kind of project. We most of the times have about 4 to 6 months, but considering this as a really big project, and considering the amount of data that we would also need to work with, yeah, we're somehow dividing this in these 3 steps and in this kind of time frame.
Yes, Carlos, thanks for the presentation. Just one question. What kind of difficulty do you expect in detecting accidents in a specific environment like an highway, very crowded highway with very old and diverse vehicles like Lima, if you compare this with your other experience?
Yeah, for example, in the use case that we showed for the oil and gas company here in Japan, they have many different things around the working areas because of the construction site is also with a lot of stuff and construction materials. So this is how we would think it could replicate as well in the roads. And we can also develop the AI model and somehow train it to learn which is a real accident or real event, and avoiding, for example, people that are selling stuff on the road, or other maybe things that are different, but that are not really an accident or something dangerous. So yeah, this is how we would like to replicate this part that we have found on the construction sites. Basically, dealing with the historic data to understand what is really an accident and avoid the false positives when the alert comes out.
Thanks.
Hi, Carlos, maybe just to follow up, how would you adapt with the different climate conditions and daytime and nighttime in terms of the technology you would use?
Okay, so Hackers differentiates by using a technique called sparse modeling. So this sparse modeling technique helps us to build the AI models with few amounts of data, and it makes the development easier and faster. So in case we need to retrain the model because the conditions change or the environment changes, we have this advantage that working with this technology and working with small data sets and needing really few amounts of, in this case, footage to retrain the models, we can do it faster and we can do it easier when changes are needed along the way.
Maybe I'll have the same question as Christos for last speech. The specific problem of dealing with linear infrastructure, no? and to have a problem of to deal with stretches of few kilometers and dealing with the fact that the same mobile, the same car goes from one camera to another one, and it is necessary maybe to analyze the stream. Do you think this is a difficulty for you, or do you have specific solutions or experience on this kind of problem?
Yeah, this can be also replicated in the way the system or the AI engine works currently with the construction sites, because operators and workers are also like moving through different parts of the construction site, and they can also appear in different sites and in different places and with different cameras. So we have also like developed the AI to learn and to really identify even if it's the same person or the same problem, really to identify the problem and make the alerts when they are needed. So I believe it won't be like a very, very different situation because the whole construction site has many different cameras in the same spot, and then people are traveling from one place to another, moving, and I think would be like the same situation. And we have managed to really identify this unsafe behavior and really make the alerts and almost in real time.
One quick question. Do you have an estimation in the example that, in the experience that, in the case that you have created, do you have a rate of not detected incidents, let's say a rate of success? 100% of incidents in the work site have such kind of feedback.
Yeah, so what we have managed in this part is preventing the events to happen. So the reduction, it's a bit, I mean, the percentages of efficiency, it's between 90 and 98%. So basically that's the number we have been managed with this company. We are working with. It's a big group here in Japan that manages oil and gas, and this solution has been scaled up. It started with one location, and nowadays we have a lot of locations around the country in the most important regions like Kanto, Kansai. So yeah, this is how this has been like really like scaled up because of the efficiency that has been given to them.
Okay, so we are ready to hear the next startup solution. The next startup is IRX. So we are ready for you.
Hi, I'm Daniel Eberall, the Global Business Director at IRX. At IRX, we are a US-based organization with a worldwide distributed team, which includes over 30 AI data scientists, engineers, and computer vision personnel. We are here today to win the Accident Detection and Prevention Challenge. So who are IRX and what do we do? Let me share my screen. So at IRX, we are molding cities of the future. We are the #1 ethical AI for public safety and smart cities. So how do we do that? We have an unlimited scalability. We can connect to all existing and new CCTV cameras. We have unlimited scalability on that, so we can connect up to tens of thousands of cameras. We take the stream directly into our private cloud, which can be deployed on-premise or in a localized data center. In our cloud, we then trigger AI-powered real-time alerts to any device in any browser in real time. We have over 20 use cases and AI modules which we can trigger alerts for. For LIMA EXPRESA, we will focus primarily on vehicle analytics. So we will trigger instant alerts for things like traffic jams and accidents, number plate recognition, specific vehicles, driving violations, parking management, speeding alerts, tunnel safety, hard shoulder pullovers, and more. As you can see, we will start with these analytics on existing surveillance cameras, but you see to our left, the threat detection and people analytics, how we can expand that. We will start with LIMA EXPRESA Highways, then we can go into citywide and nationwide deployments under a single platform, connecting to all existing surveillance cameras and new. So how will we do that? First of all, we will connect to the surveillance cameras. We will take that stream into our private cloud. We will compare it to how LIMA EXPRESA wants to receive their alerts, whether it be specific blacklist vehicles, hard shoulder pullovers, accidents, speeding, and then we will trigger those alerts via our messaging platform to LIMA Command Center, where they will receive these alerts in real time, and so they can act upon them how they wish. Ultimately, we can have unlimited users to unlimited sensors. So we can trigger all different alerts and involve all different organizations. We start with the command center, but ultimately we can trigger alerts to the police department if a specific vehicle appears, or any crime centers, 911 dispatch centers, and so forth. We have unlimited scalability. We start with the highways together. We grow this as citywide deployments. This is what the messaging platform looks like, where we can trigger alerts at any device and any browser. Again, unlimited users, unlimited sensors. So I hope you enjoyed our short presentation. We can talk for hours. 3 minutes is hard enough. Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Now we're ready for the jury to ask their questions.
Yes. Hi, how are you? Thanks for your presentation. I have two questions. First, you talk about 20 use cases. Can you maybe give us the experiences, specifically the experiences that can be related to our problem? And the second question would be, you talk about an interface with the operators through messages. Do you have other kind of, did you already develop other kind of interfaces, especially with SCADA systems as we mentioned before?
Yeah, so the first question in terms of the vehicle analytics, which are relevant to this competition, we've deployed these at production level across the UK, and we've got pilots lined up in 6 other countries right now with various deployments within those 6 countries. So these are all ready at production level to be deployed. Our number license plate recognition is ready out of the box for the UK market, the European market, the Latin American, North American market. And so, yeah, those are already at production level. And the second question, what you asked, we've developed our own platform, yeah, which has got a map view. So when you log on, you can log on from any device. It creates those virtual control rooms where when you log on, it brings up the map with all deployed cameras live. You can just hover over that and it will give you the live stream. And so, yeah, we've got the platform built in. And then we have an alert system within the platform that can trigger alerts for specific events for specific users. So if you have a blacklist of a vehicle that's appeared under surveillance, triggers an alert. If there's a hard shoulder pullover at a specific location within the city, it might trigger an alert to a specific command center employee and so forth, depending on the geography of where it's happened.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. A question on my side, in fact, 2 questions. The first one is that maybe I'm mistaken, but your software seems to target more specifically license plate recognition or face recognition. Do you also have, like, I don't know, incident detection, such as you don't want to have someone in a tunnel, you have someone or a vehicle running counterflow or just, I don't know, an animal on the street, which are the type of incidents we look at? Or is your software more specific to yes, license plate or facial recognition, which can be
no, we have
it's useful, but it's a different use. I just want to make sure that I understand properly your product.
Okay. Yeah. So no, we have various different vehicle analytic modules. It's just obviously a lot easier always to talk about the license plate recognition, but we have like speeding detection, obviously between cameras. If we know that a vehicle has got from camera A to camera B in under 30 seconds, we know that this obviously vehicle is speeding. We trigger alerts for things like hard shoulder pullovers, extended stays. It's similar analytics what you use for things like loitering, but you use it for vehicles as well. We do wrong way driving, where we trigger alerts for that as well. We also have search surveillance, where you can search specific vehicles, which is like Google-like for all your connected devices. So you can enter, if you just know it's a red van, or a red truck, which you need to track down, you can enter those and all the red trucks in chronological order will come up. But yeah, we've got a variety of vehicle analytics. We're definitely not limited to just the license plate recognition. We've been working with local cities to trigger alerts for when vehicles have stayed in a no parking zone for too long and things like that. So we have an array of vehicle analytics where we explain the people analytics and threat detection is because ultimately we can connect a whole city under one platform.
Okay, and my second question was, we have obviously a project in Peru as well, but if we want to look one step further and replicability, we have quite a few projects in Europe as well, where the laws are quite stringent, RGDP or RGPD, in terms of data management. And how do you deal with this? Because your system is quite very specific, and I'm sure you looked at it, but I'd like to hear how you organize yourself.
Yeah, so obviously we adhere to all GDPR rules for every specific country. One thing, when we set up for the end user, we can't access the data. We can't access the databases in which the client builds out maybe their blacklist for vehicles or how to receive the alerts or the streams. We can only we set it up and we can only access it by permission for things like tech updates, or if the end user, LIMA EXPRESA, VINCI Highways, need us in for tech support, we can open up and then close that link again. Everything as well, we bring about ethical AI. So this is obviously very powerful technology. So when an individual logs on and whatever they do, if they search for a specific license plate number, everything what they do on the platform is logged, meaning it's transparent, meaning it can be audited.
Perhaps just to follow up to that point then is, as you add more models to bring in more use cases, what do you foresee as the project timeline to meet the initial challenge and then to bring on more capabilities, both in on the more technical side, on the on-prem versus on cloud system? And how does that work going forward?
That's everything what I've discussed with you is ready out of the box. If there is specific use cases, specific modules from the end user, obviously we evaluate them to see if it's going to be relevant and see if it's going to grow. But our turnaround time is around about 6 to 8 weeks in developing new modules, and that's because of our large AI data scientists, DevOps, and engineering team. Or in terms of the cloud on-prem, we've got our cloud already built, and that can be deployed in a data center of the client's choice, or if they have the hardware, we can connect it to their existing hardware. Personally, I like data centers because it allows that unlimited scalability.
Okay, and just perhaps then, how do you adapt during the day in terms of day, night, as well as sunshine to rain during the same day?
Yeah, I've got my tech guy on the on Alexa. You might be one of the better to take that if you can hear me.
Yeah. Hello, guys. So yeah, I would like to answer this question. So normally it's, first of all, it depends from the module which will be used, but we are using AI, so that means that all the time the data set is important. So in case of it's necessary, to increase the accuracy, especially for the nighttime, that means that we need to collect as much data as possible, especially for the nighttime. But the number plate recognition, it's not only about the neural networks. We are also using OCR. So we are combining these two ways to provide the most accurate result. And just to compare the result from these two methods, and that's it.
One question from my side.
Okay.
As you can understand, the required application now is related not to license plates, is related with detection of accidents and incidents, and so is related to safety, and requires, we could say, 100% of successful capture rate. Do you feel confident that you can develop such product?
Well, we already have specific. Well, I know we keep mentioning license plate, but we have everything else in terms of speeding violations, traffic accidents, wrong way driving. These modules are ready to be deployed, and these are always going to be improved. When you're talking about 100% accuracy rate, I'm not going to say yes, that it's going to be 100 out of the box. It's constantly going to be improving. But our modules are extremely accurate, and those are already at production level. Don't think it's just license plate recognition. It's everything else. It's the wrong way driving. It's the hard shoulder pullover. It's the accidents. It's the traffic jams. It's the speeding. These are already out of the box. In terms of 100%, you're never going to get the AI to make the decision for you. It's all about empowering the human to receive the alert.
I really appreciate your answer. Can you just estimate the percentage?
So right now we're operating at 98.
Roughly from your experience.
From my experience, it's 98.42%.
90, sorry? 90?
98.42%. But again, it depends on the angle of the camera, it depends on the quality of the camera, but we're extremely confident in all our modules. These are already out of the box, but it's 6 to 8 weeks to develop new modules.
Okay, thanks a lot.
That's a very precise, rough answer. I'd be curious what the more detailed answer would be.
I went on our documentation just before because I heard there was a similar question for the previous guys.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, IREX, for your solution. We're gonna go now with the last solution for this challenge, and this is Valerian.
Hello and welcome to Valorant's demo to LIMA Expressway, where we're going to show you how Valorant helps road operators improve safety and revenue through data. Valorant is an AI company that focuses specifically on toll roads to help you improve both safety and revenue. And in this demo, we're going to show you how we do that, both by focusing on the challenge you gave, but also showing some additional capabilities. And we're going to do that by demoing 3 different motorways that we monitor: a Ayalon motorway, a Spanish toll road, and an urban toll road. What you see in front of you is Lantern by Valorant, our system. And it is a system that connects to all of your different data sources, provides you instant alerts, and also allows you to stream and control all your cameras so you have complete eyes on the road in every given time. Now, we use your cameras as one of our sources for instant detection. Here you can see an example where we used an existing camera in Spain in order to detect a stopped vehicle through machine vision. But we also gave them access to live camera feed so you can see whether the incident is still happening or not. Now, cameras is one source we use, but in addition to that, we also use data from connected vehicles and navigation apps. In this case, you can see a major accident that was detected in Israel through Waze. But Waze is not always very reliable. So we also fused in data from connected vehicles on their traffic speed. So you can see how traffic speed reduced around the incident and then increased after it, showing that something indeed happened. But also we used our machine vision to detect that the incident happened, giving you both a clip of what happened and a live video so you can see what you need to do right now. Once you do that, you can click in order to manage the event, and then we give you many options, whether it's sharing it with your users through Waze and Twitter, or internally through Slack and WhatsApp, or through other systems. Now, except detecting risks when they happen, we also use your historical data and machine vision to help you detect risks, and then help you connect to your patrol so you can send them to the area with the highest risk so you reduce the response time. Except this, we also use your cameras for a video analytics, as you can see here. So we do count classification in all your existing cameras so you can better understand what's happening on your road and plan better based on that. And lastly, we also help you monitor your competing roads. And what that allows you to do is to understand when you have an event that makes you lose market share, lose journey, you lose drivers, you can respond to that instant faster. So that way, when you can maximize the amount of market share, the amount of riders that use your road to increase your revenues. So, in summary, we help you detect accidents, verify them, predict your risks. We also do video analytics and help you increase your revenues by monitoring not only your road, but the roads around you. Thank you very much.
Perfect. So
Hello
we are
and
ready
welcome to Valorant's demo to LIMA Expressway.
For the jury's questions.
I'm Michael. Thanks for your presentation. Can you give me more data or more explanation on your actual capabilities?
Yeah.
And
sure
maybe more explanation as well on the actual platforms or products that are already working.
Sure. So, Tim, what we do is we appreciate that you have a lot of data coming into your centers, and that it's really about making the most of the data whilst reducing the amount of noise that your operators need to make. So what we do is our system integrates all the available data in your ecosystems. That means your cameras, your connected vehicles, your navigation app, your radars, your weather stations, all the location of your patrol, everything to one place. Then we do analysis on each one of the individual data sources. That means machine vision on your cameras. It means cleaning data from connected vehicles because it's noisy. It means machine learning on historical data. We then, and this is part of our kind of like, you can say, core differentiator, we then fuse those data together so that they speak the same language, so that what you see from a camera is directly related to what you're seeing from loops, which is directly related to the events you're getting from Waze. So you don't get, so that way, if you see an accident, and that was the example you saw in the presentation, if you see an accident in 3 different sources, you don't get 3 alerts. You get 1 alert with 3 different verifications. Then after that, we provide you tools to respond faster to every event you see. Because some things, when an event happens, you want to do immediately, and some things you want a person to be reviewing. So you can say, for example, if I detect risk in a tunnel, then that is something that immediately I want to send a patrol over there because I'm taking no risk. So that is something that you can automate. We give you tools to do that if you choose to, or we can give you everything to human verification. And lastly, we connect you to the platforms that your users use. So if your users are on Twitter or they're on Waze or they're on Google Maps, we enable you to push the events that you want to share back to those users. In terms of where we are, as I said, our focus is on toll roads. Those are our customers. That's who we specialize in. And we work with toll roads in Spain, in Israel. We're starting to work now with the toll road in the US, in Costa Rica, and kind of expanding actually to a few more in South America that have not yet been signed, so I can't really talk about them.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Michael, a question on my side. I'm not sure I fully understood how you create revenues with your system. Can you please expand a bit on that?
Sure. Well, so this was a super interesting use case that came from 2 separate users of our system. So basically said, we're an urban toll road and we have competing routes. So when someone gets up in the morning, opens Waze, they have multiple different ways journeys they can choose. And recently, Google Maps in the US added the price of every journey to Google Maps. And so every user is faced with the choice of where to go. Now, what we do is we help them monitor not only their road, but the competing routes so that they know what's happening on their road and those competing routes so they can basically manage their road to maximize market share. So for example, if like this is an example from the road in the US, they know that when a storm hits in winter, that can severely impact which routes people choose to take. So when that happens, if they respond to that quicker, they're going to win market share on that day versus the competing routes.
So it means that basically you would push information to the user that your route is cleared, or would you put information that the other road is not cleared yet?
No, what you would do is you would learn what type of events impact market share, and you would attend to them quicker to make sure you don't lose them. So you would basically optimize your operation to kind of, to try and gain more market share. So you would not, if you say, for example, my KPI, right, I have a concession agreement, and in the concession agreement, my KPI is to clear an accident in an hour, for example. Then, your operations right now are maximized to clear an accident within an hour. But if we work together and you say, hey, within 20 minutes of an accident, you start losing market share, now you know that actually I need to be managing my road, not to clear within the concession agreement 1 hour, but within like the unwritten contract I have with my users of 20 minutes. Because in 20 minutes, they're giving their business elsewhere.
Okay, thanks.
So maybe from your experience, as you consolidate different data sources, whether it be computer vision or other data sets, where do you normally detect the incidents from? Is it from the computer vision or is it from the crowdsourcing material?
Well, it depends on the road and depends on the coverage. And it depends on the type of incident. So and this is important because each data source has different strengths and weaknesses. And that's why combining them is so important. So on a very well covered road, for like well-defined and we'll call it dramatic incidents. Dramatic, I mean that they're easy, like they're localized, they're easy to spot. Yes, like machine vision in that area. If you have a camera looking at it, is perfect. However, if you don't have a camera, that's not going to help you. And in those cases, say crowdsource is better. However, crowdsource is slightly delayed and slightly noisy, and so you want to try to kind of strengthen that certainty of that with other sources. For example, a traffic speed in that area. For other types of events, for example, pedestrians on the road, we find that dash cams are best used. So we can connect to dash cams of vehicles and detect pedestrians on the road based on that. So there are a lot of factors that depend, but what's really important is that we integrate into your data systems and we work really deeply with your team. So I would I personally with my team would come there to understand your road, what you have, and to create the right mix to suit your use cases and your business case.
Just to clarify, when you say the dash cams, is that of the people on the roads or is that of the service vehicles?
So we use, for a specific example, right? And I think I can show you also an example. We would use, we can procure data from dash cam providers of people, and that GDPR compliant. Just to be clear, we don't know who they are or anything, but all we know is that that dash cam saw a pedestrian on the road. And we've done a few different types of work around that allows you to detect, for example, areas where people cross the road more regularly, for you to understand why that happens. And so we would actually connect to dash cams of users to gain alerts in a GDPR compliant way. And I can go into more detail on that if you want. As well as, by the way, as well as patrol, but that's an easy one.
Okay, I have another question for you, Michael. So there's a different angle that you're using because it's not only camera-based and many other sources, but to what extent did you already integrate your system to existing SCADA or operating centers? Because it looks quite specific, but did you integrate it fully to the operation of the clients, or working separately in parallel, or?
We have integrated completely into an on-premise system. I mean, like our system is cloud-based, but we can integrate it into an on-premise system. We send engineers to a place. We've brought in uncalibrated loops, unsupported weather systems, connected directly to the internal systems that work on the VMS. So yes, we have completely integrated with privately operated toll roads already. Because ultimately, right, as we move into the future, more and more of your sources are going to be connected, and you need to be able to leverage both the sources you have, but and Lima Expresa is a very well managed, well monitored road. But looking at the greater VINCI portfolio, you have thousands of kilometers where you don't have a camera every 500 meters, and being able to leverage data that can tell you what's happening there is super important.
And maybe last question on my side, which we had for quite a few others. How do you deal with day, light changes and stuff like that to be able to have your automatic incident detection? Because that's always a key issue, and that's the time for machine learning. And
so I guess that is a specific challenge to cameras. And the way we do it is we have there are three things that we do. Right? So first of all, and here, by the way, my assumption is that we have your cameras and we're not going to install specialty equipment. So obviously, one thing is we can install a specialty equipment that solves that. But let's assume we cannot do that. Then we have your cameras, in which case, part of the algorithms are focused on things that are available at nighttime and not daytime. For example, headlights, taillights, and second, but then the second important thing is that cameras are not the only source, and that you look at other impacts of an accident to understand what is happening. for example, sudden drop of traffic flow in a specific area. So you would, in an area you have a camera, if you're seeing the accident, you're also seeing that one of the lanes potentially is blocked or that cars are moving in a different way. And these are other ways to kind of alert you of an incident that's happened and you need to see it. And you can get that data again from connected vehicles as well, from Waze, from dash cams, etc.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone for your questions. The time is up and we have to continue with the second challenge.
Thank you.
So the second challenge was the customer data in the roads challenge. We were looking for solutions to obtain massive data from users of the roads using the current infrastructure. The solution could have a platform to capture massive data from users in the roads with the current infrastructure. This for improving the customer experience through data analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, and obtain 300,000 full registers. So we're going to hear now the Wallabies solution.
Hello everyone, and thanks for this opportunity. It is almost impossible to solve mobility problem in the emerging market because you find no mobility data, no clients data, and a poor collaboration between public and private sectors. We want to unlock city potential and digitalize the mobility world. I am Joaquín Di Mario, CEO at Wallaby, a big data mobility company that integrates schedules and routes of urban transportation, micromobility, and ride-hailing operators, offering solutions for both B2B and B2C markets. Wallaby suggests the best way to commute, considering time, cost, distance, and issues of your trips, thanks to other user reports. Wallaby was born in 2019, and we are now deployed in 30 cities in 6 countries, with more than 1 million unique users without direct marketing actions. And this is because we play with growth hacking techniques to make the app go viral and present a collaborative focused solution that encourages people to interact with each other, making our travel assistant more accurate than any other solution. Our information was born from real problems. Our user can report the insecurity level, a protest, a street walk, or a car accident. So the mobility industry is growing, driven by electromobility, automotive industries, and BTC industry, and we reach new opportunities of $1.8 trillion by 2030. We offer trip planning APIs, co-branded apps, mobility data, and payment solutions to these markets, having as client company like Google, Intel, or Renault, for example. We are already deployed in Lima and Callao, and we want to build a LIMA EXPRESA mobility platform, enable you to get to your clients. You will be able not only to solve people commutes, but also integrate a new payment solution to accelerate your business and offer benefits to your community. And on the other hand, you will understand your people behavior, your client behavior, their origin and destination demand, real-time insight to make better decisions based on accurate data. Our team is convinced that mobility is the key to build sustainable and inclusive cities. And you as a company have the opportunity to build a mobility ecosystem with us. So I invite you to join our trip and evolve the way people move in Peru. Thank you.
Thank you, Wallaby. So we're ready for the jury's questions and feedback. As we did with the other challenge, you will have 10 minutes to ask your questions and also do the evaluation at the same time.
Okay.
Perhaps as a first question, thank you for the presentation, first of all. You mentioned the payment solutions, and obviously getting the free flow of traffic is a key part for us. How would you be able to integrate that with the PEC system to enable a free flow of traffic on the payment side?
Okay, we are not a wallet for ourselves. We integrate some partner solution from fintech solution inside the mobility application for LIMA EXPRESA. I can give you some example here in Argentina or in Chile or in Uruguay, where we work with fintech companies, and for the user, it's transparent where they saw the solution. They think that wallet is a wallet for itself, But we are working with, I don't know if you know some of them, but for example, in Switch or the local or coupons in Chile, so user can pay their ticket in Wallet, the mobility wallet, and we can do the same in Lima. We can integrate a fintech, and people can use Wallet and to pay, for example, for to pass their vehicle in the I don't know how you say. Peaje. I don't know how you say in English, but it's the way we make this deal. We collaborate with fintech and integrate that fintech inside Wallet.
And perhaps just a reminder, how many users do you have in Lima already?
Lima, a little. I think we have 2,000 unique users in Lima right now, but we already have a partnership with, for example, Google is buying our data in Google, in Lima, for example. So we understand that we can penetrate the market, and we need a little amount of user to maintain our information in a quality that other company needs. So with that number of users, we already have some business cases in Lima. So I think that the best thing we have is that we understand how many users we need to, or how to make the go-to-market. And from the active user, how many users need to be collaborators. So we have a very good quality of data. And this is something that I think we have very unique, at least in comparison with other partners, with other companies.
One question on my side, Joaquin. I'm not quite sure to fully understand what type of data would you be able to bring to LIMA EXPRESA from the users that would be of value for us. And maybe my question is naive, but I'm not a big data expert, and it's a bit new for me, so you need to explain this to me with layman words.
Okay, no, it's a good question. First, I want to make it very clear that we are expert in working with people. So when I said before in the video that we have 1 million unique users without market action, is because we use growth hacking techniques, and it's not something that it's very easy to perform. So we have been working on mobility world a lot of years, and now we understand how to get the user. So what data are we generating? First of all, we have origin and destination demand in every mode of transportation, not only in vehicles, not only in public transport. We understand how people want to move from one point to another. So you have the places where they live, the places where they work, when they do every activities. So you can make a very good origin and destination demand. And adding to this information, we know how what are our users. So we know their sex, their age. We know their personal information because they allow us accepting the terms and conditions of the app. So when you see this in data point, we are generating now in Argentina, for example, more than 5 million data points of mobility in Buenos Aires, for example, in a city like Buenos Aires. And we complete the user profile playing with gamification techniques. I don't want to be very techniques here, but we have some gamification technique working inside the product. So we make the user to complete the profile. So they work with them. So the user can add a lot of information in their profile. I think the most important thing is the origin and destination demand in every mode of transportation, and not only the demand that is covered, but also the demand that is not covered. So you have a big opportunity here to work with other partners, because you will have information that agency want, that government want, or like a company like Uber want, for example. This is because we have been working with a lot of this market too. I hope you understand that.
Just to add one more question, strongly related to the previous one of Guillaume. What can you offer in a toll road?
what can I offer? Sorry, I didn't.
Meaning, what kind of information do you think can you offer that would help revenue collection from tolling in a motorway?
Okay. First of all, every information that you add in the context, it's information that we can have, and we already know how to make the user complete this information. So this is very important. I think that we can have the 300,000 of register you need in about 8 months. It's our go-to-market strategy. And you will have not also the personal information from every of your clients. You will have also the information about, as I told you, where they live, where they study, where they want to work, how they prefer to move, not only in car, but also in micromobility, in public transportation, in ride-hailing operators. We have that integrated in the platform. So, and I think that it's very important that we can be also a data source for some of your solution that we saw in the first challenge, because our user reports a lot of things in the routes. The bus stop security level, a protest, street work, a car accident, and we have very good engagement metric. 3% of our users are collaborators, so they are giving us information about this thing. We also have information about insecurity level, a lot of kind of things that I think that we can collaborate or upgrade the other kind of data source that you can work with other solution. We know how to work with a specific industry. We developed the solution, the data solution for government, for agencies, and for ride-hailing operator. We are also working with telcos, but I think that perhaps we can be an add-on for other of your solution, or your data solution.
There is here in Lima, let's assume we don't use the wallet system, because this decision would be much wider than this challenge. It could be a case, but not sure. If we focus on the travel planning tool that you offer to your clients, usually here in Lima, if you have a private car, you don't really use public transportation. Because public transportation is not a very high quality one, and there is a social difference, no? And so I feel that your travel planning is not addressing the same clients as my clients from the road. How would you gap this bridge, this difficulty?
Yes, I know, and that's what that was a tab that I have for this context too. But you need to understand how we know how the mobility is evolving. So first, I think that infrastructure was built for vehicles, and now infrastructure need to be built for centering in people, and people will have another kind of mobility challenge. So perhaps you will need to add, I don't know, a center where people can charge their vehicle and continue their trip in a scooter or in a bike or in a subway. And we have the data. We know how to connect every mode of transportation. So why I talk about payment, because we can do that. People put the money to pay their I don't know how do you say peaje inside Wallaby. So we can promote people to use this wallet to charge the amount they have to pay the peaje. We can give benefits for people to do that. For example, one benefit can be you have some free trips in companies like Uber, Cabify, etc. And this is something that we are working now in Argentina. We have a lot of agreement with other companies, and we give a lot of benefit to our user. So, thank you. Peaje is tall. So I think that we don't have to see the world in a separate way. Cars in the one side and every mode of transportation in another. we need to see the ecosystem. What is the way you can see the ecosystem and to interact with the ecosystem? And I think that in the future, in the near future, a lot of change will be made in the infrastructure, accelerated by the electromobility. And we have the data to collaborate with other business models that appear there. So yes, it's a gap that I had, but I don't see this can be a problem. This is an opportunity for us, and I think for you too. So you will have the opportunity to work with other partners thanks to mobility data that we already have.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you all for your questions. So we're ready to hear the Clear Road solution. This is our last startup for today, and the stage is all yours.
Hi, everyone. My name is Frederick Charlier, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Clear Road. We are very excited by this challenge because we see a lot of potential helping LIMA EXPRESA resolving two main pain points. First, there is still a high numbers of users of LIMA EXPRESA paying cash or with card, and the ramp up of toll tag penetration is lower than expected. Two, the lack of information about those users to convert them effectively to digital toll payment is a problem. To resolve those two pain points, Clear Road is proposing to deploy a tolling app incorporating several key features, such as a reward and gamification system to engage with those non-tag users, combined with the captures of key data sets like name and addresses, but also frequency of usage of the toll facility, driving behavior, occupancy of vehicle, and much more. Finally, the app would have an embedded payment solution for transitioning those users toward digital payment or electronic tolling collection. We are humbly convinced that Clear Road is perfect for this job because our mission is to modernize the tolling industry by leveraging connected vehicle data already available in cars, from smartphones and plug-in devices. This is not our first rodeo. We have worked successfully with toll agencies, Department of Transportation, and cities, primarily in the US. Recently, we have started exploring the Latin American market, working already with the city of Bogota, Colombia. Finally, Clear Road's solution for this challenge is proven and tested. The app that we're proposing is the combination of two of our main products that I will show you in a minute. First, a toll payment app that we have deployed in all the toll roads of California. As you can see on the screen, you can scroll easily to review the recent toll charges on our app, as well as the vehicle information on file. This app is simple and straightforward. User can create an account in a few seconds and start driving in California. Second, our trip tracking gamification app, which collects trip data in real time. You can review the detail of your trip and gain points for certain types of behaviors. These trips are created using background geolocation and AI. We have launched this app in conjunction with the city of Bogota to gain more information about traffic patterns in order to transition the city to congestion charging. As you can see, we are highly motivated by this opportunity, and we are looking forward to working with LIMA EXPRESA and their partners on this innovation challenge.
Thank you. So we are ready for the jury's questions.
I have a first one. First, thank you very much for this presentation, and thank you for making me comfortable with my French accent, Frederic.
No problem. My pleasure.
So that's a quite interesting point to have something focusing on the non-tag user, non-card user that we have difficulties to track and follow. Now, can you please be a bit more specific on your payment app? I'm not quite sure to fully understand it. because on our projects, LIMA EXPRESA, for instance, we have a very clearly defined payments rule in the contract, which is an open toll system. It's not paid based on the distance. I mean, how does this work? First, and second, so this means that you are just tracking people going through the plaza. That's my question. And second, what type of infrastructure, what type of hardware would this require? Because we have already at toll plazas, it's quite tolling lanes. So basically, how this works? Someone with your app, he shows up at the plaza, and what happens? That's what you need to explain this to me, please. I have difficulties to understand.
Okay, so that was the reason I was presenting those two different products that we have that we believe we can combine for this challenge. So the payment app that we have is dedicated for tolling, and we use it in California for on all electronic tolling roads. So the basic idea is you create an account, and we use video tolling to identify the transaction, and we charge it through the app. The advantage is it's way more user-friendly than the existing approaches. It targets different types of users than toll tags. So, toll tags, in the United States, the toll tag penetration is really high, but there's still like a high numbers of users that don't have a toll tag. And so we are focusing on those segments.
Sorry to interrupt. So basically, it's a toll by plate app. So basically, you're connected to the free flow tolling system in California that monitors the license plate numbers, and they tap into the database. If they are registered with you, then you manage the payment of the toll, and that's basically what the app is doing. Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. What I understand is in your case, it's not you don't have all electronic tolling yet, but I think that's what I understood. But my understanding is that they still, we're going in that direction, and I'm sure that having an adjacent payment solution for non-tag users could be a benefit. And maybe there's ways to, with the existing system, to speed up payments at the toll gate by leveraging that app and without a toll tag. Or the app could be supporting also your toll tag users and just provide a better interface to be able to manage the account on the road. So those are open questions, but there's definitely a transformation that's happening. We are at the forefront of it in the United States. And we think it's time to bring it to Latin America as well. So that's the tolling app. And then the trip tracking app. So as you said, here we're trying to focus on smartphones. In the United States, we have a hybrid versions where we also use plug-in devices in the vehicle. So, but that obviously comes with a cost. So in Latin America, with Bogota, we have focused on a toll, on an app solution, primarily app solution, but we can still have additional, telematic technology as well. That's not a problem. The idea here is to basically offer an app that would engage with your existing users with potentially a loyalty program or something of that sort. So the app will track the travel and be able to identify when they cross a toll road, and they potentially win points. And if they get a certain amount of points, they get a discount on the next toll or something of that nature to motivate them to not only drive on a toll road, but also build a stronger relationship. And using that, they will be open to share very valuable information that would help you understand better your customers. So understanding, when do they use toll roads, when they don't, what type of travels do they do, how much, how long they use their car, how often they use their car, and then also potentially how many people are in the vehicle, That's an additional feature that we've deployed for the city of Bogota, and then we can cross that data with your camera system, and so you can expand on your existing data that you collect with your camera system using OCR technology, or and have like the whole picture, but from the customer side instead of having the information just from the camera or the roadside that as you might have today. I hope I've answered all your questions.
And just a follow-up question on the one on the toll payments app. So basically, so could you use existing cameras that we have on the lanes, because we have cameras for controlling the operation of the toll plaza, or would you need to install specific equipment, or does it depend, or I don't know?
So we are not a computer vision camera. So as long as you can give us the license plate, then yes, we can. Based on a entry and exit point, we can calculate a transaction based off your pricing rules, and then we can charge.
Okay, so basically, we tell you this is the license plate. It goes to your database. You tell us in nanoseconds it is a client that is registered or not, and yes, he has a valid credit card or debit card or payment mean. You take the payment risk and you tell us go. And how does it take? How much time does it take? Is it almost instantaneous in French? Sorry, or does it take?
I mean, it's instantaneous. But I've been working in the tolling industry, so I know how challenging it is. If you hope to open the gates, I think it's pretty accurate, and we can get to that level. But I don't want to commit without further evaluation of like the ability to open the gate in real time. But in theory, it should work, because it's go to the speeds of the light. So I'm pretty confident we can be close to that. But in addition to that, this could be we could use Bluetooth. So we can use other sensors that can improve the accuracy and just to increase our chances to be able to work with the barrier system and empower payment.
In follow-up to that, who owns the liability in terms of any dispute between the payment charge in terms of the value on the size of the vehicle, or if it went through that toll plaza or not?
So sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of the question because it sounds like I have some technical issue on my side. So you were asking about the liability on the collection.
You were cut.
Oh, sorry about that.
Aaron, you were cut at the beginning, and we didn't get the question.
No problem. So yeah, just to repeat then, is just to understand in terms of any liability between the toll plaza itself and yourselves in the payment, if there's any dispute whether it's the right value for the actual crossing at the toll plaza, or whether the person was there or not, who manages that liability, and where does that fall based on your experience so far?
So that would need to be discussed in the contractual arrangement. I mean, it depends. If we are in charge of the detection, then we would have KPIs and to be able to to take some responsibility in the case the transactions are not being detected correctly. If it's on the calculation, the same thing. If it's just on the collection of the revenue, if we're focusing just on the collection of the revenue, we shouldn't be responsible of liabilities regarding the detection. So it really depends on, up to what extent you want us to provide services, or and the liability comes with it. As I said, I've been in the tolling industry, so I really understand those questions on liabilities and how important it is, and the level of KPIs that you need to get on a toll system, which you have to be as close as possible to 100% because every single digit that you lose is a lot of money. So I completely understand that, and we will design things accordingly.
For our first challenge, which is accident detection, the winner of the innovation challenge is Ubeware from Portugal. For the data in smart road collection, the winner is Clear Road from the US. And as you know, we had a third challenge, which was waste collection. And unfortunately, we did not receive any convincing proposals, so we didn't choose any winner for this challenge. Thank you, everybody, for your active participation. It was a great pleasure to be part of this.
Congratulations to all the participants and the winners. These winners now will need to get the final approval from ProInnovate to actually start the implementation, where they will receive the promised grant. Now, we will go to a private Zoom link to hear the thoughts of our winners. Everyone is more than welcome to join. Just check the link that we will share on the chat. To finish this pitch day, I wanted to thank you all for joining us and see you next time.